Yo, what's up guys, Aiden here. So today in this video, we're going to go over two trades. One trade made a 130% move and one trade made an 80% move. Both are first green days. So if you don't know what a first green day is, please go and watch the video linked in the description below. What we're going to do, we're going to break down exactly how these trades formed and therefore how you can possibly predict them on upcoming trades. Let's jump into it. So guys, just before we jump into some charts, just want to give you a little update about myself because obviously I've not posted for a little while. The reason for that is I've struggled with burnout. I've pushed it. Trading can be very stressful and I've pushed it too hard for too long and there's been repercussions for that. And so I've taken a complete break from the market for the last 4 months or so. I'm still not ready to get back trading, but I have missed doing YouTube. So I'm going to start, my intention at least, is to start following the markets and making videos about it. I do feel as though my read on the market is generally pretty good because I've got some relatively good level of experience, and so I do think there's a lot of value in what I have to share, and potentially even more so because rather than I'm going to break down some charts after the fact, but my intention is to make some predictions on first green days or what's in play and what to look for. So yeah, definitely keep tuned for that. I think my one concern I would say is that I really need to maintain discipline because I'm not ready to go back trading. So if I am watching the market, I really need to remember that's just for YouTube purposes. But yeah, as it stands, my intention is to make, at least weekly videos to get them to you. All right, let's jump into some charts. Cheers. All right, cool. So the first chart we've got to go over is I've forgotten what they are now. Is it MOBX? That's something. MOBX. Okay. So let's, as always, start with the daily chart. So you can see it's had this big day one move all the way from what's that closed at? That's closed at about almost 18 cents, and it's reached a high of $1.24. So it finished up on the day 532%. So that's a massive runner. I think the market had been relatively quiet up until that point. So this is definitely going to have a lot of eyes on it. You can see down here as well. What is that in volume? 1.39 billion in volume. So obviously it's a lower price stock, but yeah, plenty of eyes on this one. So day two, it has this, what does it do? It gaps up and then fails. So let's have a look. Let's jump. So at this point, after it's had this this failed day two, which is this day here. So let's have a look. So this is the big day one. Then it's gapped up in the morning, well, pre-market, but then it's actually, has it gapped up? What's it done? Sorry guys, I've not traded for ages. I can't even remember how to use the software. Yeah, it did gap up. It gapped up but then failed. So yeah, this is the big day one move. Good thing to see here because it does affect other stocks. It's reacted favorably to $1. Reaching $1.61 pre-market the next day. So, and then we can see here, out the gate, it just tanks. It can't hold its gains. Now, if anybody is familiar with Mark Crook, he used to teach this bounce on the day, like a day two bounce, like when the stocks panicked quite hard. So I think this would have been potentially something that I would have been interested in on a day two, when it sort of begins to put in this higher low. I would have expected at some point this stock to have a bounce, retest one and fail at one, which it did here. So this is a potential, I don't know if you'd call that a scalp, but yeah, like a bounce play that I would potentially be interested in. So there is plenty of, it's nice, over 25% there. What I didn't like, what I wouldn't have liked on this one is it bounced all the way to 110. So the low here is 76 minus 76 equals to about 76. So it's a 44% bounce. I don't like it when it bounces that much on day two. It kind of affects my conviction regarding a first green day bounce, because a first green day bounce is essentially it's a bounce play. So if it's had a huge bounce on day two, it does make me a bit more tentative. But the fact this has done it, this has then gone and had a first green day after having a day two bounce, that is something that I will consider or remember for upcoming trades regarding first green days. So could you tell I've not spoken on camera for a while? Right, cool. So the next day, so after hours, this continues making lower lows. So again, I would have been cautious because of this bounce, but the next day, and then it has this 62 to 89. What's that? 89 minus 62. So 62. See, that's another 44% bounce almost. So it's had a 44% bounce here, 44% bounce here. So these are, to me, they are significant. But so it definitely means I don't want to chase it. And so if I was going to take an entry, I'm going to make sure the risk reward is there. So basically, now that it's put in this low, I want to be risking off this low, basically. Now, last time I was on the market, at least, these stocks, they weren't holding cleanly for the first green days. But what they were doing is trying to break, couldn't break, and then having the bounce from there. And that's pretty much, that seems to be still the case here, because the low was 0.6193, and you can see here that it's just tried to break it, couldn't break it, and then from there so this proves to be the ultimate low, and then it goes on and has what is that? Even higher. So yeah, underestimated that. Yeah, 80%. So that's an 80% bounce. So absolutely monster move. There is potential. Obviously, I like to get in at these at the lowest possible point, which is as close to risk as possible. But if I had missed that, there was a potential to take it either here or here, because this is really nice sort of consolidation slash wedge. That's really tight. They're tight candles. That's the kind of action I like. This is, also sort of one. This is, potentially a backside move. So I tend to go for this kind of action when it's front side. But given that, the main things to be looking, the big picture is this is. Let's go back to the daily. This has made a huge day one move. The drop off in volume isn't like super, it's not massively set up for a liquidity trap. It is a significant drop off. I think that's a 66% drop off or something like that, or 60% drop off, something like that. So it is significant, but often with these liquidity traps, you see a much bigger drop off than that. So, that's not ideal, but big picture, this is a massive runner. It is now off its highs. Yes, it has had a couple of bounces, but it could have a first green day, given that there are things going against it. For example, the bounces and the lack of liquidity drop. It's important to size in with that in mind and get as close to risk as possible. So these potentially could have taken them, and if when I'm trading wedges, I'm not risking off this level here. I'm just if the wedge doesn't work more or less immediately, then I am then I'm out really. But you can see here as well, hadn't checked this before, you can see the descending volume on the wedge, which is essential for a wedge. And okay, this one's not particularly clean. It's not bad though. Yeah, and you can see there, if I go too far, yeah, you can see really clean. Well, kind of. But you can see here in the bottom corner where the volume just starts to pick up, which is what you want to see as it's going to break the wedge. So you can combine the wedge on its own is a pattern, but here you're combining it with the big picture of a first green day. So yeah, to learn more about the wedge, definitely go and watch Dan Irish's stuff, because he's specialized in that, really. And that's, you know, there's 80% there on the table. Price targets, obviously, you know, that's the level that, you know, hindsight's always 2020. It is probably the level I would have chosen as a max profit, but I would have probably been selling some into that level for sure. And I guess some into here as well, like around here. I probably would have taken a piece off. But yeah, nice opportunity there. The next one I wanted to go over is DXST. Okay, now this one is perfect, really. I guess it's slightly lower priced, which I don't like, but it's not. You still will get shorts in at this level. It's not like it's like, you know, 3 cent stock or something like that. Let's have a look. So DXST. So here, this is perfect as a daily. Abnormally high volume. Okay. Had a good run back here, but yeah, abnormally high volume. What is it? 1 billion in volume. Slightly lower priced, but it did reach a price where it's going to interest shorts, and you can see here on day 2, the volume is just gone. It's gone from 1 billion to 26 million. That's a huge drop off in volume, and what that means is that shorts are likely trapped, and so we can get a liquidity trap style squeeze, which is exactly what we got. So here, okay, so pre-market spike, and then I wouldn't have been interested in any of this action, to be honest with you. There's nothing for me to do there. But then I don't really like that it failed so much after hours as well. But this action the next day that's A plus action. Look at that tight consolidation, slight grinding up, reclaims VWAP. This is a textbook liquidity trap. So you can see here the volume on day 1's a high amount of volume, and then it's gone on day 2. Now any shorts that have sized in according to this liquidity can't now get out without affecting the price. And what you generally see on this liquidity trap is the bottom forms. Look, it's just held that bottom. Look, that is absolutely perfect action. Did anybody take this trade? I'm looking at you, the unlikely trader. Did you take this trade? And if you did, can you put a comment and let me know how you got on? Because this has got you written all over it. Anybody else took this trade as well? Please let me know. So look at this. So yeah, it can't break down. Next day, all of this, you're risking off this 15 level. But this action, generally when you see a liquidity trap, it starts to grind up, it reclaims VWAP, and then it blows. And that's what this is. So this is a 130% move, I think it is, in in an hour and a half. So that, yeah, I mean, this is why it's going to be a little bit difficult for me not to take trades when I see things set up like this. So I've really got to be disciplined. But yeah, this is a really good example of something setting up absolutely perfectly. It would have been even better if it was slightly higher priced, but like I say, you still will get shorts in there, I imagine. Okay, cool. So that's it for today. Let me just mention this briefly, ANTX. So this one's popping today. This is setting up for a first red day, ANTX. And I haven't looked through the filings of this, but this is definitely going parabolic. The volume is increasing, which is what shorts look for when they're looking for a first red day. So this is one to keep your eye on in regards to potential first green day. You can see the action, the volume is speeding up, and the price range is speeding up. So it's going parabolic now. I don't know where the top is. I'm not in the habit of trying to guess tops anymore. But yeah, just watch and see how this retraces. I haven't checked the float or anything like that, or the filings, but it's just one to keep on watch for now. And if it does retrace, I will do a video on it predicting, just with a thesis. Like I say, I'm going to try and get ahead of the game a bit and put some trade theses in there for you, and you can take them or not take them, but that's up to you. This is strictly for entertainment purposes only. But yeah, this one, if I had seen it, DXST, I would definitely have been predicting something on this. But it's just, I've just got to time it right when to do these videos, really. Yeah, maybe this day or next day. But the thing is, if I start doing these videos on day 2, it's really pre-market the next day when I should be doing these videos, but I'm not sure if I'm going to have time, because if I do them this day, you don't know how it's going to react in after hours or the pre-market the next day. So you kind of, it's that action that's dictating, in addition to the day 2, but it's a combination of all those things that dictates my risk level and my overall thesis or conviction that it's going to bounce on this particular day. But I'll figure something out, and hopefully be getting some trade ideas over to you soon. But okay, thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next one. Cheers.